Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 43 of Competitive Magic with the Carnies. I'm your host from Italy, Andrea Mengucci, and joining me, we have Javier Dominguez from Spain.
Hello, everyone.
And that's it. It's just me and Javier today. Anthony is doing some business over there in Perth, Australia, and has left it all to us.
No, not business, not business. I'm gonna tell you what happened. We are very open about what things we like or whatever. Turns out the Australian government is not as open because as you remember, Anthony saying last podcast that Blue White Control was a fine deck. You remember that?
Well, I don't know about that. He didn't really like Blue Eye Control.
No, but he said like the deck might be good, like he was maybe well positioned, and I think the authorities did not like it. So yeah, I think he's been arrested because of saying that thing.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
harsh.
yeah. I'm sorry for him, but I guess he will learn the lesson, and next time he will not defend control decks. I guess. I don't know. I like control decks, but in Spain they're fine. You know.
Yeah, so without Anthony, me and Javier decided this week to do a video as well. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find actually our faces as well as what we are looking at. So for example, if we'll talk about something, I'll make sure to have it on screen and etc. It's our first try, so things might go wrong, but hopefully they don't.
Yeah, now they will see firsthand if we're messing up at seeing the deck lists. So I don't know if that's
Yeah,
a good thing or bad thing, but it is a thing.
they can see the Furby Champion art behind you.
That is true.
There is that is three Furby Champion in one screen. When was it? Last month I was streaming from your house, and it was fun because I had this. I was just right there, of course, streaming, so I had the Furby Champion behind you. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool picture. All
Oh,
right.
all right,
What
I'm
about
here.
this weekend? What happened this weekend? What happened to you?
Yeah, yeah, I had a fantastic weekend. I traveled to Bologna, one of your favorite cities, as I remember. And not only I played some Magic, but I went to eat to the best restaurant in Mulino Crociato.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I shared a lot of pictures in the carnies of every meal on Twitter. Just very few of them, but yeah.
Yeah, I just couldn't go there because I had to test for the PT whatever. But yeah, it's the best visit. I like Bologna for many reasons, but that's a big one.
For
How did it
sure.
go? How did the
And
tournament go? Because you were qualified for the MOX, the big showcase
yeah,
qualifier, also playing Bologna. How
yeah,
did
there was
the
a Um, as you might have listened to the last episode, I qualified on Tuesday to the Mox thanks to a 5-0 in the playoffs. And it was my first time actually playing the Mox playoff, so I was very excited about it. Except the Mox playoff was at 5 p.m. on Saturday, and I really wanted to play the LMS Bologna because I love to play a 676 people paper event because that's great, and I'm excited that Italy and Europe keeps on having those events. Um, I was ready in case I was doing well. I would have tried to double queue. The tournament was very slow because of the four color control decks was the most popular decks. Just I felt like I could easily balance the two things. Except I was 3-3, so at 3 p.m. I picked up my third loss, so there's no reason to double queue or continue. So I just dropped, went to my hotel, walked for like 10 minutes, and sweated so much because it was so hot. And went to the hotel, showered, then went downstairs, got the Wi-Fi of the hotel, and was ready for my Mox playoff, where I also played Scam in both events, and where I also went 2-2 drop. So unfortunately, my event ended at 8 p.m., which it sounds bad, but turns out I was able to go with Pivo, who was returning from the day one of the LMS, and go straight to dinner. So
It's great, actually. Yeah, it's perfect timing.
yeah,
You got to play two tournaments and just go to the restaurant. I will
yeah,
call that a
yeah. It was
Disney.
yeah, a large group of friends. So it was very fun. Of course, I was a little bit sad for breaking two events with a deck that turned out to be probably the best choice for the weekend since it was three in top eight of the LMS Bologna, three in top four of the Mox playoff, and in both events I played Rakdos Scam, and I don't really feel like I made any huge mistakes, but it's just the nature of the luck deck sometimes. And but it was indeed a good weekend for the deck, and very happy with the list and everything since yeah, the winner, Alberto Albibeo 93, he was playing basically my list. It's funny that I played on Friday against both him and Egor Titov in the Ultimate Guard meet and beat on Friday. I hold the
Oh,
Ultimate Guard held this thing where you just come up and you play against me, and if you beat me, you get Paka's Leaves, and I played against both of them. So Egor actually was playing Rix's Shadow. I beat him with Scam, and then I told him that I think that Scam is better than Shadow. And turns out that he just picked up Scam and came to the top eight of the event. And Albi won the whole thing as well with my list. Only changed one card in the sideboard. He played one Shield Red, whereas I played for the fourth Dirty Void Walker. So that was cool. That was cool. I mean, when I saw that on Sunday, I was so happy for them because, of course, it felt like there's a piece of me as well in that debate.
yeah, no, it's a good story, absolutely. And what about Sunday? Because
And
there's always like an event on Sunday or this tournament.
yeah,
There's always
on
the
Sunday I played a classic qualifier, which is the LMS circuit has 32 invites for the regional championship to the top 32, and then the on Sunday there's the classic that has instead 8 invites to the RC, and yeah, qualifying to the RC now it's not easy anymore. I mean, not that before it was, but I feel
never has
like
been. Yeah.
never has been, but for us, we were privileged, very old MPL and Ravels players, so we kept on being invited to the RCs. Now no more. So we actually have to earn our invite. In my area, there's zero RCQ, so I actually had like basically three chances. The Pro Tour, where I did poorly. The LMS Valencia, where I finished 14th, and I might pass down. They still haven't announced that, so I'll update the viewers and followers in the future. And this event where I failed. So there's a very high chance that I'm not playing in the regional championship in Lille in September at this point.
I mean, they're ending. The season is ending, right? So they're now are supposed to be figuring out the pass downs. I think.
Yeah, I talked
Maybe.
to them.
Yeah.
I talked to them in Bologna. They said they're giving me the information soon, but I mean, it's not I can't do much about it, so I'm just waiting.
Just check your
And
email. Just check your email, Mango, every day.
yeah, that's all I
F
can do.
F5. Yeah.
F5. It's okay. If I don't get qualified, it means I don't play Pioneer. So it's not all bad. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's an upside, but the downside is not playing the RC. I would
I
say
know.
the
Yeah,
downside.
it's okay. If it doesn't happen, it's not supposed to happen. But yeah, so on Sunday I played a classic qualifier to try to get that invite. I was playing. It was Pioneer. I played Mono White, Zenny's list and cyber guide from the winner that posted on Twitter. But I remember the name. So anyway, all the infos. So I copied these. I printed the cyber guide. I was ready, except I played terribly and went 1-2 drop.
Okay, I did
Yeah,
not see that one coming. I mean, I remember now that you said you were terrible, but I didn't.
Yeah, I just sat down first round, 9 a.m. I played my first game so bad, and I just finished the match, and I'm like, how did this happen?
It's a complicated
And
topic, because
and
this keeps
yeah,
happening. This
and
keeps
then I
happening to all of
lost.
us. I mean, it happens. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like last week or the other week, I just played a tournament. I also played very bad. I don't know, Mingo. It's we have to figure out how to stop playing bad randomly. just, just saying.
I feel like it's just. I mean, as I said to you in the Discord, I feel like it's just impossible. Like, it's just too hard to follow these formats. It's, back in the days, I used to test so much more, and now I just showed up with a cyber get printed, hopefully, hoping that my hands would magically just pick the right cards to play because I had a cyber get printed. But it turns out I had to make the choices, and they picked the wrong ones. And
But that's a lot of players play like this, and sometimes they do well. Like we have done well in the past, also picking up random like
Yeah.
Dex with a support guide. I mean, it will not. If you had done well in this tournament, it will not be the first time you actually play well with a deck that you have no experience with. Like maybe, I mean, also, it's kind of lucky that you get the hard games in the beginning. I guess, in a way. I don't know if that's
Mm.
something that you think matters because
Yeah,
sometimes, you know.
I played this like full hour match against a Rona combo, while I have never played against Rona combo. It was the first game. My opponent took like, I mean, he was playing reasonably fast. It's just that his deck had so many game action. And, I we were playing sloppy, so we took some takebacks, and yeah, it was a lot of like pass, oh no, wait, stuff like that, or like it was not a very just it was just a very poor match. Like this is the whole thing, and I was a little bit sad after that loss. My the people who were behind me definitely, because also it's the hard part is that now it's just me and you talking about this in our room. But when we're there, there's always like 20 people watching me, assuming I always make the right play, asking me, "Oh, why you play mono white?" as if I have an answer for it,
Or why
and
did you
just
make that play, right?
or why did you make that play? It was obviously a mistake. I Trump attacked, or and just people always assume that just it's definitely a burden. Obviously, that balances out with people picking up your deck and making the top eight and making you feel happy about. So, when I said at the beginning, balances out with the bad part of, I guess, fame at these tournaments. Because, but I feel like I should try to not care about these, losses and things like that. But it's hard. It's hard, but mostly because I feel like, you know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I was good, showing up to tournaments and doing well, and now I show up to tournaments and not do well. So obviously, time passed. I'm a content creator, which is basically like having a 8 hour at a day job. Sure, I play Magic as a common thing, but it's not that I know exactly what's up every time I show up to a tournament. So that was a harsh realization, and I'm glad we're talking about it in the podcast.
I don't agree. Actually, I agree with part of what you said, but what was the previous large tournament you played before Bologna? Like the previous 500 people tournament you played?
I mean, Athens, the Pro Tour,
No,
the
no.
Terrible Boys.
You played the 500 people tournament
Oh,
2 weeks ago.
Valencia.
No, you played the Papageddon 2 weeks ago. It was
Oh,
600 people,
Propaganda.
and you top eighted. Like, and you actually
Yeah.
played very well. Like, I don't think you're being fair to yourself.
I guess sometimes
You played in
that's true.
Valencia, and you were like, you might even have got the slot there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, I don't think you're being fair to yourself at all. Honestly, I think you're being just too unreasonably rough to yourself. I understand the frustration that comes with all these things, but just like it's easy to enter this rabbit hole where you're just like being like, yeah, I suck now, blah blah blah, I keep losing,
Yeah.
because I often do this to myself. So, but I think it's important also to focus on the things like I'm saying. The propaganda was 2 weeks ago. That's when I make it top eight in the PT, and then I lose for 1 month online. I mean, I'm like, like I just cannot win a game, and Anthony makes fun of me, and it's kind of similar in a way, because you just are doing well, are you playing well? Yeah, just don't set these traps to yourself. I think Mango, you're just, I mean, you play well and do well. Of course, I mean, even the best players do bust tournaments, and sometimes they go to tournaments and they are not playing well. It happens. It happened to us when we were good, even. Like it's fine. Like, we're not saying we're bad now, but I'm saying like we tested more or whatever,
Yeah, 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 for
and
sure.
it's fine,
It's
right?
okay.
Like,
I don't wanna also like start every podcast with this talk, maybe.
no, but
It's
this happened this
it's
weekend, so
not.
it's important also, right? Because I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
some of the people this weekend went to Bologna, and it was their last shot, and they tested a lot, but they just got there and just misplayed, and then just felt like they feel awful. So I think it's fine to say it once again, like you're doing well and don't
Yeah.
worry. But by the way, also that I really felt like sometimes you're playing and there's a lot of people watching, and then you end, and the first thing they ask is like, why didn't you cast this card? And obviously it's a blunt, like like that feeling. That's like that happens. Like you're like, yeah, I mean, I just messed up, and then the other one comes like, yeah, why didn't you ask that? Why didn't you play that card? And you're like, yeah, I just messed up. Like when you're at home, you just mess up alone, and I guess no one knows or whatever. But like you're there, yeah. I mean, that part really got me. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I was
it's roughish a
I
little bit.
was yeah, I was relieved though that on Saturday when I played Modern Scam twice, I felt like I swear every losses I had, the five losses I had were just relaxed. That's why I was able to shrug off the two losses that quickly
Hmm.
because I feel like I had no agencies over my loss. Whereas in the Pioneer one on Sunday, I think I just threw away for sure the first round, both games, but and it was so when you lose it's out of your hands, it's fine, and I feel like a lot of rack the scam gaming is like that. You kind
Luck
of
deck.
yeah,
Luck
especially when you play
deck.
the
One
mirror
thing,
match of luck decks.
one thing I want to say though, like if you're in tournaments with friends and they just end this like long complex match, I mean you can cheer them up or you can just go out with them or whatever. But in 2 seconds, 10 seconds after the match, is after they lost, it's probably not the best time to ask them why didn't you play that card. I'm just saying, for the future. I mean, we all have done it. We all did this in the past, but like I actively try to not do it as much, and I think it's a good thing to if we can do it everything like everyone for our friends or whatever. That's better, because even if you want like the long explanation, that's probably not the moment where you're gonna get the best part of it. Like if you discuss it later, like having dinner or whatever, or like next round, it's actually you're probably gonna get a better feedback anyway. Not just like after this person lost this match after an hour, and I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that's not a very productive question either way.
Yeah, the our mutual friend Pivo made a big mistake, and it was like explained the mistake, was very sad about it, lost the tournament. And then as the day went by, he said he realized how funny was his mistake, and he just, laughed about it. And, I hope he can now laugh about it for a while. But obviously, as it happened, it was
What's a mistake? Can
pretty.
I know? Now I want to know. We want to know.
I mean, it's the one ring, not the one ring, sorry, the ring tempts you chapters.
Yep.
The third one says if you block with a creature, you have to sacrifice it at the end of
Yep.
combat. And he just team blocked a creature that didn't need to be team blocked, and
Well,
his creature died.
that
So
this yeah.
it's kind of like the combo like lure death touch,
Yeah.
and because that is a like both his opponent wasn't. I mean, it was like a friendly event, and the whole thing was like now we're not gonna forget it. Like his mistake was probably definitely a good sacrifice for his PT testing and
No,
whatever
absolutely. Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
the third chapter of the ring tempts you like basically never matters. So rare to matter.
Yeah.
Well, so things like that
That's cool.
definitely make sense.
I expected something like more spectacular. To be fair, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was more. I just didn't want to. Yeah, he's not here. Like it's not
I know,
fair.
but he's certainly gonna listen to us. I think. Hello,
Yeah, I
people.
hope
Hello,
so. I hope
people.
so.
Ciao.
Hello, people. Okay, let's also acknowledge a new Patreon. That is Ulrich. So welcome to the Patreon
Welcome.
Discord. I hope you can have some fun and interact with us over there. Speaking of which, Javier, have you decided the deck to play in the Legacy Showcase this weekend?
I wish it's not being easy.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I played like 3 leagues, which is already what I wanted to play, but I just like don't like any deck.
nothing changed.
Like they just
Yeah,
no. I mean, no, they changed. Like I actually think there's like a little bit of a new format because now there's these orcs punishing the cantrips in a way like orc is similar to Ragavan, in a way that it just better against itself than it is against other things. Like obviously Ragavan was never good against like lands or whatever. So Arc is similar, but it's directly attacking cantrips. So it's if you're playing orcs and you're playing cantrips, you kind of have to have a plan against the cantrips, against the orcs, sorry, but also be good against the other decks. And it's very hard to pass all of this. Like, I feel like if I had more time or more testing leagues or whatever for the legacy mods, I will be able to maybe build a new deck even. But the way it is, I'm just very likely to end just copying anyone, like good players decks or whatever. Because I've tried like the four color decks, and I try Grixis, like I'm just trying decks, and I just don't feel they're very good. Obviously, the ones that are not mid range, This is Legacy, where if you play I played the Artifact deck also, but if you run into hate cards, the Legacy hate cards are hate cards. They're not, Nansen Grudge. They are no Rod, and they are not like Nihil's Problem. They're Little of the Void or Circle Extraction. So it's actually very tricky.
Yeah.
And the gap between the so-called good decks and the tier 2 decks or whatever, it's shortening. Like now, I don't know, you have decks like lands or elves or like mono black Lane of the Void deck, and those decks are not much worse than Grixis Leveler anymore, and that's this presents quite of a unique situation for Legacy that I'm trying to crack, but I don't think I'm to be able. So I mean, there's a lot of super strong cards. There's the fourth, the white red card. That card's sick, the fourth Orlingas, but also doesn't like. You cannot play very well the fourth, the Orcs, and the blue package together because that's what I tried for a league, and it just the mana basis is rough, and because also these cards are quite like mana intensive, right? Like they are, and when they're bad, they tend to be bad together as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a deck, Mengu, but I'm gonna have to make a call between the end of the week. But at this point, I am probably copying someone else's deck, which
Yeah,
is
later.
fun.
Yeah, later we can discuss a little bit more about Legacy and looking at the results. But why don't we start with Modern? Why don't we start with the Grand Open Qualifier Bologna, which again
The
is
format of the people.
Not really. After the Ring and the Orcs added even more expensive card to the format.
Yeah, the former format of
Six,
the people.
but speaking of expensive cards, despite the Ring is as expensive as it was the sixth most played card in the event.
That's insane.
That means that players had no issue at all to just pick up for color, which went from the, I don't know what, 10th most played deck to first most played deck.
Was it first?
Yeah,
No,
it was first.
according to this, it's creativity, right?
Yes, but you have to combine together 4 color elementals, 4 color Blink Yorion,
Okay.
and also
Okay.
5 color elementals.
Okay, that's confusing. This is designed to be
Yeah.
confusing.
No,
Okay.
no, but like I believe Legacy had it.
The actual breakdown.
Legacy.
Okay, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, I'll find it on Twitter and drag it down to the computer. But it was the most popular deck, followed by basically just the scam and creativity equally. So yeah, Rakdos Scam just and Murktide so low. Like Murktide used to be the first one for so long, and now it's no more. No more the echo. There it is. This is
Okay, that's
the
good.
breakdown.
Yeah, I mean,
After they
but
check
it's like
the names and things like that.
not that different. I mean, there's 40 Mortites and 60 for Coco. It's not like there's 12 against 60. Like, like all the metagame
Yeah.
is very spread. Like, you could easily play this
Yeah.
tournament and just play, like, again, 10 different decks or 12 different decks easily. Like,
For sure.
the way this is distributed.
The other important data from this deck is the win percent. Like, thanks to MTG Melee, you can have access to very easily. And there's something that's very worth mentioning. One is that the win rate of Murktide. Despite Murktide finished second,
Always been, Mengu.
thanks to Michael Kundegraber, Murktide was 42% win rate. 42%. That's very low.
I mean,
And,
why you think was that? You think it always
it's
sacked,
just-
or do you think it's just like not very good anymore, or just
Yeah, it's just he was already struggling, and then the Orc is just the nail in the coffin. Like the Orc is so popular now. Like if you look at the top 8, I believe 6 decks out of 8 are playing the Orc, and the Orc is a nightmare against you because it comes into play and kills a creature, unless of course you're slow rolling yourself to DRC, but then you're slow rolling yourself. And then you have Bubble, Consider, and Shredder. They all hurt the deck, so you must kill the Orc. And that, I mean, I was testing Murktide for the showcase. I really wanted to play Murktide. I feel like when I play Murktide, I play better. I'm happier because the losses are more in my control. And I've done well with Murktide. I played the LMS Trieste and the LMS Prague, and I always went, decent result. I finished top 16 in Trieste and top. I don't remember, but I definitely made day 2 in Prague. So reasonable results, but with you know, at this time I just couldn't play it, and it's a shame because of course I love the deck, but I want to be honest with my viewers. I don't want to just lie because I want people to keep on watching my Sunday Murktide videos.
Friday Mortide. It's Friday, right? Used to be Friday
Yeah,
Mortide.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
upload it on YouTube on Sunday. Yeah,
Okay, well.
yeah. And then another important data from this event, because every other thing is like around 50%, you have Armor. Armor also did very poorly, with Blue White Armor at 44 and Mono White Armor at 41. So, and Hardened Skills also super poor, like 45. Kind of feels like these Urza Saga decks are just, uh, you know, the more the Solitude Binding decks, Omnat decks, Ring decks go up, the lower these Aggro Saga decks go. So it goes definitely. So these things are the biggest takeaway. And then, of course, you have the Yogmoth deck that did extremely well, as well as Scam, which was the second most popular deck with a 52.5 win percentage. I think that Scam is going to be the most popular deck moving forward, taking the slot of Murktide. Of course, we have the Pro Tour in a couple of weeks. That's why, obviously, Javier cannot share too much, although he's there watching and nodding. Um, so
Just making faces.
The Pro Tour can easily change things up because they can build the One Ring deck, which is beating the best five, the top five decks of the format, and then the metagame changes. So there's going to be a lot of changes happening at the end of this month. But I think after Bologna, the clear takeaway is that Rakdos Cam is the most popular deck right now. Very solid. Maybe you have a slight negative matchup against the four color decks, but at the same time, you have a good matchup against honestly just anything that beats the four color deck. So that's a nice place to be. And then you have the Living End, which was in my power rankings of June the best decks in the format. Then of course people started adding more and more, whatever hate card as well as Raptor Scam going up a lot. So the deck didn't top eight, but still a decent 50% win rate as the fourth most popular deck. That's not bad. What else? What else there is? Well, there is the four color decks, which everyone was afraid of. Everyone wanted to ban the ring. Of course, we pretty sure that Javier shares with me the thought that is a little bit too early to talk about ban talk for a card that it's fine, a very powerful 4 mana sorcery speed card, but
It's in three
uh,
weeks, right? 3 weeks been out.
it's been
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. So just let's be reasonable. And I understand that you don't want to buy the card, so you'd rather it be banned. But we need to be competitive players here and wait for the results, as well as, of course, like it's not that the ring is much better than I don't know even Omnat, right?
I mean, it's also not like the top 8 had 8 decks with 4 rings, you know? Like,
Yeah, the top eight had a bunch of decks with the rings, and none of them are the one that you would expect. The highest placing for control player was the 18th place for color elementals. In the top eight, there are one Amulet Titan by Ricardo Corla, which is a player I know, and he got the job done with a special 61 amulet, 61 plus 15. Uh,
61!
with a three ring main one side but no card. Then we have a couple of Golgari Yawgmoth. One is the Master Zerk, who had two ring main in his Yawgmoth deck, and the other Lawrence, he had three ring main. Then we have a very sweet deck by Enrico Mercurio, who played mono black coffers, and he said he beat. I don't wanna say something I'm not sure, but I think he beat six, but or probably even more four color decks in his 2 days event. Actually, I can check it, right?
Yeah,
Like
you can check.
here,
You,
you
you
can
can click on
click
on the
here.
name, yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I guess here it says three, but yeah, I guess he was coming from a streak of three, so he was. And then wow, back to back winning was against two burn decks. I guess the march of the march of Wretch Sorrow worked over time in that matchup.
Drain
I
life,
just
boom.
Yeah, imagine that, right? You go land
Yeah,
goblin guide, I go swamp, gain six, kill your
again
goblin
six.
guide,
Ciao, ciao.
and then my hand is just I don't know the one
Yeah,
ring, and
whatever.
then you just
You're 28. Like, and you flip a lot
yeah
also maybe.
yeah, and then you just slowly do that. So this is another deck that is interesting. And what else? What else was playing the ring? I believe there was another one. No, that's it actually, because the other three, the other four decks are three Rock the Scum and a Murktide. So more Orc decks than ring decks
Yeah, I mean,
in the
also
top
more
eight.
rag events than rings. Like, I don't know, banning the ring is like what? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes any sense.
Another interesting data is that the Mono Green Tron, which was the seventh most played deck, ended up being the most popular deck on day two. So Mono Green Tron overperformed, definitely the biggest overperformer of of their width, but did not convert to a top eight. I'm assuming because the metagame of Tron in day one was a lot of four color decks, whereas the four color decks dropped on day two. So Mono Green Tron found itself against a metagame that is hostile, because of course Mono Green Tron maybe not that good. So when you're playing against a not a good matchup, it's yeah. So this is my again. This is all my read in this monologue. I'm sorry if Javier doesn't agree but can't say anything. That's not a best feeling. Two Mono Green in the top 16. Of course, you have four Condigre Creator and three, the One Ring with a fourth one in the sideboard. So that is another deck that's just moving on. So yeah, the Lord of the Rings set did a lot of shakes up. This tournament in Bologna, I think, was very good for metagame purposes, metagame studies, and I want to say that I'm happy that I picked up the right deck, Practice Cam. Although I didn't do well, I was happy to, just satisfied, definitely satisfied with my modern preparation leading up to this event. Um, yeah, there was also another large event in Spain. I believe it's in the north west of
Mhm.
Spain.
Galicia, yeah, it's in Pago Returns. I actually was there like I think 3 weeks the last year before pandemics. I went there. It's an awesome tournament. Also, like Bologna, it has a very excellent places to eat at around the
I'm
venue of the
sure.
tournament. They very good place. So if you ever have to go there, you just get ready, get the belly ready because. But yeah, we're here to talk about the Magic as well. And yeah,
Did you see
I don't know
the?
how large the tournament was, but it was I think it was like 200 people or so, right, per tournament.
Yeah, 188 in
Yeah.
modern and 175 in legacy, and the winner was Mono Blutron by Rodrigo Iglesias. He was playing four subtlety and 3-1 ring Mindslaver, just a wild deck.
I
And
like it.
yeah, and the finalist is Rodrigo Togores, and he was playing 80 cards. Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
No Yorion, of
No,
course.
he forgot the Jordan at home.
Yeah. I remember he top eighted in Bologna at Four Season. Not this one, the one before, with 71 cards elementals. And now decided to round it up to 80.
I mean, if you're gonna play more than 60, why 80? It could be any number. It could be like 78. I don't know. Like 80 is like kind of random in a way, right?
Well, obviously it's not random. You think about Yorion.
I know, but
And
like it could be 79. Like,
but maybe like 80, you know exactly the numbers because you played it for
yeah,
like a year or so.
it
So
has to be that. But maybe you don't know what to cut. You know, he's playing like one haircut. Maybe you don't know what to cut. You just put one more card or one
it's
less.
wild to see two Temple Garden. It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have in the top eight? Let's see. We got Blue Red Murktide. We got Grinding Station. The Just Get Breach with Station, Hardened Skills. Another Omnat deck.
This
Blue
keeps
Red
being modern.
Prowess.
Like we have topics with
And
six different decks every time, 5 to 6 different decks every topic. This is very modern for sure.
yeah, and I believe that that might be it for modern. We can maybe move on to Legacy and talk about the Impact Return on Saturday that had 175 players.
Yeah, I mean maybe I can
Uh,
get my Mox deck here. Let's have a
ooh,
look.
the winner has an Italian name, Riccardo Bragato.
That's
He
very
went to
Italian. Yeah.
he went to how do you say attacked and brought home. It's always fun, when you have like a tournament in Spain or in Italy. It feels like whenever there's a foreigners in the top eight, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel right almost. You know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm always a foreigner, I guess, in Italy, so
Yeah,
I never feel
because
like
it's not like
this.
GPs. Because these events are not like GPs. Like in GPs, you're expected to have different. But like usually this is like 175 people. Maybe you have like I don't know one. I don't, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm not expressing myself well here, but I like to see Ricardo winning the event. I believe he was playing 8 cast. Let's see if he added the.
The One Ring? No,
He
I don't think so, right?
No, there is no
Yeah.
copies of the One
I
Ring.
mean, you could put maybe one. The thing is, One Ring is obviously good, Legacy as well, but One Ring plays not very well in decks that play Ancient Tomb and that don't have like many ways to actually get rid of it. Like, maybe it's great in 8cast, but maybe it's not as good because you're already playing the Thoughtcasts on the monitors, right? So you're like drawing a lot of cards. Like, what are you gonna cut for the rings? Because Thoughtcast is probably better, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Saber. There's one copy of Life from the Loam. It's very good against the Wasteland decks. You can
Yeah,
cast it with Mox,
the opals
Opal,
and the petals
Spiraling
also,
Street,
also the
Lotus
petals.
Petals.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
usually
that's
there's a Hitware Might, but it isn't here. So
yeah, but
that's
I'm
that's
not
cool.
convinced that the ring is necessarily good. Also, doesn't make you that good against some of the hate in the format anyway, like all this null rods or whatever.
The second place there's a good old Reanimator. Top four we got Mono Black.
A part
Yeah,
of me
speaking
wants
of
to
Mono
actually play
Black,
Monomator. What's this? Oh, I
this is
like this
Mono
deck.
Black.
I like
This
this
deck
deck.
that you see right here, also with a much different list, won the Energy Series event, which also was very large, 176 players registered on MTG Melee. And the winner went actually undefeated because it went 602 in Swiss and 3-0 to top 8. Was playing Mono Black Helm Combo. Actually streamed this deck the other day.
How
It's
good it is.
alright.
Like it. So seriously speaking, though, is a deck you think I should consider playing over like Grixis?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I think it's fine. It's like one of these explosive deck that if you have a good hand,
but this one can actually grind
it's
as well, right? Like it looks like it could grind. It has Karn, the Ring, the Bowmasters, the Opposite Agent, which is kind of good in the long game. I mean, you played the deck, I didn't. That's why I'm asking. Like, how good do you think
I
this
don't
deck
know.
is?
I feel like it's a cool deck. You can do the thing. You're playing Orcish Bowmasters, so sometimes you can like go slower and still win. But I feel like yeah, this I don't know. It's fragile. It's fragile. I'd rather play 8 caster initiative. I have to play an ancient tomb, kind of all in decks like this. I know this is not an all in decks, but
Yeah, that's why it looks
I f-
appealing because you can actually just play like Swamp Thatsis, Swamp Orcs, Swamp Agent, and
yeah,
Swamp
but it's
Karn.
also
That's
but
fine.
it's yeah, it's also a deck that like mulligans. You can draw. It's just doing a brainstorm. It's always tough, right, to play like these decks that don't have brainstorm that just kind of have a lot of dead draws, like
I mean,
just like four Leyline
this
of the
is
deck.
this is like the old heuristic of Legacy, but I think this has to stop now. Like playing Brainstorm is not anymore something that you are soft force. Like playing Brainstorm is a serious liability against Orcs. Like it is.
Yeah,
Like I'm actively trying to see if I could play a deck that doesn't have Brainstorm that's good enough.
yeah. I believe right now we're in a world where if you want to play brainstorm ponder and so on and so forth, you must play yourself the orc to kill the orc in a card advantage way. Because you just have to play your old Jeskai control, and you have to plow every time the orc. It's just an impossible life to live because you also have to plow Murktide and I don't know anything else that arrives. So if you're using your plows on a 1/1 with flash, means that you have to play your cantrip around it. It's really tough. So you'd love to add your own orc to kill orc so that you're still left with something. And so for example, something like Jarvis Ugrix's Delver list. It's something that interests me, and I played a league with this deck, and it felt good. It felt very good. Like when I was playing Grix Blue Red Delver before, there's no way I could beat the prismatic ending plow decks. But now with this deck, I felt I made this league and I played against two blue-white decks and I beat them both thanks to just drawing orcs, playing them in response to Teferi, playing them after or in response to Narset, attacking the Planeswalker. Again, like they have to plow that. They just ended up dying to DRC or Murktide. You have more threats.
One
Play
question about
Flash.
this. One
It's a
question
good
about
deck.
this deck. Like, but this deck should probably lose to the mono black one, right? Like the matchup against this deck against the mono black should be good for mono black, isn't it? Like Lane of the Void is very good. Orcs
Yeah, you
from
still
mono
that
black are good. Orcs from I mean, I'm asking,
yeah.
but
Yeah, but this deck has like a million four drops, and you're playing Days and Force. So and you have Wasteland. I mean, surely the Mono Black can have some draws that kills you, but I think that even if they go on ley line, now you have the Orcs, so you have
but
some
if
threats that
but
are
the orcs don't do anything against the mono black. Like if you need to kill the
no.
mono black player with orcs, it's raise the
It
alarm.
takes a long time.
Like
Yes,
they,
that's true, but like it's threats that you can play
uh,
under the also post Cyber versus Delver has two Brazen Borrower, which
that's
are now
good.
cyber material because they died to the orc. So
Yeah,
maybe it's not like a great
but they play
main
orcs
deck.
anyway. Yeah, I mean I
I
kind
know
of
they play orc, but I feel like you must bring them in your in this
yeah. But
matchup, even if they play orc.
I mean, the more I look at the mono black deck, the more I think maybe that's what I'm looking for. Maybe it's a
Mm.
little bit too fragile with the rituals and whatever. But if you trade here the ritual for reanimates, for example, like just another like midrange card, suddenly this deck can be actually very good, right?
Yeah, like I remember one of the losses was a Mulligan. My hands did not do much, and I kept a hand that was like 4 mana threat on turn one, and they forced it,
Yeah,
and it was over. And it's not that's not something I would recommend doing in Legacy. But again, that's me. That's my approach of Legacy. Actually, the deck that Diego Cruz played in the Impact Returns, finishing third, is much different.
yeah.
It's
I like this
way
one
more mid
more.
range.
I like this one more. I think this deck might be actually good.
Yeah, he's playing
Yeah,
no card. He's playing no card, so he actually has a sideboard. Funny enough, in the sideboard he has 4 leyline, 3 help.
yeah.
Uh,
I guess Delver,
oh
I assume, are also great in
yeah,
decks. Like,
there's a there's a card that we might see more play of right now. It's Dark Blast. Maybe Dark Blast now, killing
wow,
the orcs anytime you care is
wow.
something that could be good.
That's a sick idea. I'm gonna write it down actually.
Actually, can you do Brainstorm?
Yeah. You can. I'm gonna write down Darlos here.
No, no. 1 second. Let's think about it. You play Brainstorm against the orc. You play Brainstorm against the orc.
Yeah,
You dredge, but
yeah,
then you have to finish resolving the Brainstorm.
yeah.
So they still
I
trigger
don't know
three
if
times.
the arc trigger. I mean, we don't have Anthony here, but I don't know if Darblast the dredge doesn't trigger the draw, right? Like, how does Left from the Long work against Narset?
Ooh, maybe, yeah,
I
maybe
don't
that's
know.
true.
I
Because you
don't
can
know.
dredge against Tool Breacher, I believe.
Good mono black with Darblast make you feel better, or still not good enough?
Dark Plus. I mean, Dark Plus might be just a one-off. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, this mono
It's
black
not.
deck, I just like the black cards now in Legacy. I like the
Yeah.
orcs, but I like the orcs without blue. I like the orcs in the green decks, the depth
Also,
decks.
yeah, this mono black deck that one didn't make sense for me that it had grief. It had 3 grief, no reanimate. And I feel like it's so free to just put in your deck for
Yeah,
grief for reanimate, especially when you already play Dottywood Walker, which works so well with reanimate because you
and
just
grief. Yeah, I think I
use
will
it
try
and
that.
reanimate.
But maybe the combo
And this
is
deck,
not that good. The combo of the helm and the like maybe the cards that are good are not the card and the combo, but just the other cards. Like they
I
just
mean, the help deck can literally win on turn one. Like,
yeah, but it's
I,
unstable, right? That's what you said. Like you have a lot of bad draws, blah blah blah. This deck, this monologue deck in out screen, it's just good cards. Like it's Thoughtseize, Reanimate, Snap Out, Shield of Headache, Fall Push, Ritual Grief, Agent, Turek. Like it's just good cards. Like this deck can beat a fair game against most decks, and you can also go the scam, turn one double grief or whatever,
and you have 11 swamps.
which is a lot of swamps. I think that's very good as well. Yeah,
That's why do you think he's playing a couple of fetch lands in this deck?
I have no
For
idea honestly. Hmm, doesn't I don't see a reason to do so. Final push. Yeah. So you have the vault. so you can push the reliquaries and such.
Yeah, also no Chrome Mox. It's a little bit more stable there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
I
felt the Chrome Mox was actually a scam in the monoblock decks. Like I felt when I lost a lot to the monoblock decks with Lenon and the Helms or whatever, I rarely lost because of speed. Like I was happy when they will go Mox, into the Helm, so I could force of will the Helm and they were dead. But more like they play a fair game, and then with 5 lands they kill me. But Mox, like I was never happy when they cast the Mox. The other way around, like I didn't feel like the deck was good because of the speed. And I think Ritual is actually better at giving speed than the Mox, but I could be wrong. I don't know how you feel about that. I think none
yeah,
are
you
great,
have
but I think Ritual is better. Like, Ritual leads into like some sick kills or whatever.
yeah. Also, in a world where there's a lot of more card break creator, maybe Mox gets even worse. Like I played against Boros Initiative, and I started with turn one card, and I easily won because my opponent just had like petals and Chrome Mox that couldn't play.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah, maybe
but to
Dark
make
Ritual
turn
is
one
better there.
card, you need Chrome Mox, so that's tricky. I guess maybe there's some kind of sort of card advantage that I can play, but the other deck plays the One Ring, right? Maybe the One Ring is enough, so you go like Grief into the ring and then just play the ring, but
Yeah,
that's
we haven't
tricky.
mentioned that the energy mono black that had the two
I mean,
copies of One Ring
this
maybe
deck looks
inside.
good. I mean, if you say it's clunky, I'm not gonna play it, but I think.
No, man, I think that the one that I played, yes, I didn't like it,
But you played the
but
one in
the
you
other,
played the one in the tournament, or you played the other
just
one
like
later?
going grief, like after playing Sultai Scam in Legacy with four reanimate, I was
Yeah.
just such in love with that card. I guess rules have four, so for sometimes you can just force something and then you reanimate it. Like you can force the orc and reanimate it.
All right.
Uh, but here you just have to like I guess you can. You don't have any thoughts. Oh yeah, you have four thoughts. So you can thoughts. Yeah. Reanimate looks great in this list for sure.
Yeah. I would maybe try it. I guess Reanimate and Leyland is number though. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about the interaction?
What's that?
The Reanimate and Leyland of the Void is like a number. Like if you Leyland of the Void, you can not reanimate the creatures, which makes Reanimate way worse. So maybe
Yeah,
you have
but
to choose between Reanimate and the Leyland combo. Which
Leyland is in the sideboard.
no, I mean in the other deck. Yeah, like I'm trying to put Reanimate into the other
Oh,
deck. You
oh,
know,
okay.
like maybe there's a way to mix both, but I guess Reanimate is too bad if you don't cannot reanimate their creatures. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe that's why this person doesn't play Reanimate. I think.
Makes sense. Yeah. Also, Dottie Wood Walker.
Yeah, also with Walker, but yeah, I guess it's a combo deck that just doesn't combo as fast as other decks. All right, Shadows. I mean, Shadow is a
Yeah,
deck I would like to pick up. Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest options. Like I can just copy a Shadow deck and just play it because I've played a lot of Shadow decks in the past,
I
and
agree.
like I can play this deck. So for me, it's a
Yeah, I feel like this probably is the safest option. There is top 8 by Under Atspatia, and also in the energy there is another that shadow deck by Garrison Fogged. He also is playing
yeah,
a couple of Delver.
it's similar to Delver in the
Mm.
sense that Delver playing TRC, Pyroblast, and Bolt, and this deck's
Ooh,
play other cards. That's it.
the
Yeah,
Palantir of Artank in the sideboard.
yeah. I mean, I've been facing this card. I don't know. It didn't feel very good. It can
So
flip Mortites and Force of Wills, which is a lot of damage. But
yeah, so what happened to
no.
me in a sealed match? I played the turn 3 Palantir. My opponent played Orcish Bowmaster in sealed. So every turn they were making me draw a card
Ciao,
and
ciao.
growing the thing, and I ended up losing to my own mythic rare. And I guess it's in the cyber you don't side it in against Orcish deck. It's for control matchups. It's like Court of Cunning basically, but it can be prismatic ended. I don't like it.
I think you
Or
probably put
Teferi.
it against the Orc decks
Teferi,
even, right? Like
Teferi
if there's
bounce.
low decks. Yeah, I mean the 30 bounce though you get to scry the damage. I think the only reason to play this in Shadow is it's gonna deal a lot of damage. Like you have Street Wraith, Mortal Vision, and Force of Will. So
Mm,
it's fairly easy for every flip to be 5 damage.
snuff out.
Yeah. So that is the reason to play this deck. But also the issue is every other card in the deck costs 0/1. So it's not that dangerous for the opponent. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could play one, but
And here,
I think
Ande was playing two
court.
Court of
I think the
Cunning.
court is better for me, but I mean, it's hard to tell,
Yeah. I like the orc. Now both of these lists, I believe, do not play Baleful Strix anymore. Baleful Strix basically just wrote it out of Legacy.
Until they ban the orcs.
Yeah. Now
Uh,
it
yeah, I
might be that the
mean,
orc
I
is.
think banning is a little bit like too much. Like, I think Strix is still a fine card because it fits very well to Force of Will or whatever, but definitely a card that got hard by the Strix. You know,
Yeah, I think
like
now they can safely reprint it into modern the Baleful
yeah,
Strix.
absolutely. I mean,
Before it was
it
maybe
will
too
also.
good, but
I
now
mean, nah,
now not bad.
I think the two good line for modern cards it's very high. You know, like I think all the cards that are just fine in Legacy mostly are fine in most cards. I found in modern like in terms of fair cards, of course, that are not like the Force of Will stuff like
Yeah.
Strix or whatever. But even I don't know which other cards are here in Legacy that are not in the other formats. I cannot think of too many, but I mean, Uro. I mean, if they played Uro now in modern, it will not be too good. It will be just very good. For example, you know,
Yeah,
like
because
if I, yeah,
Ura also gets punished a lot by the orc.
yeah, the Ors ring, like you know, so many cars there will just be fine like in modern.
Yeah, I thought about Dark Blast because of my Sultai deck. I feel like my Sultai deck needs to answer the orc
Yeah,
ASAP. You of course you have four orcs, but I want more. And Snuff Out doesn't work. Fire
yeah,
Push,
that's true.
sure, but I feel like Dark Blast could be actually
Could
the
be
card.
good. Yeah, I mean, I will think about it later, but I wanna play Darbles in Mono Black.
It, there is this crazy deck. I don't know how they did
Which deck?
in the it's labeled for color snowball, but whatever. It's for color control, and it's playing a lot of strange cards. It's playing the Lighted Halfling, which is the 1/2 that makes your legends encounterable. It's like four the One Ring, and
Yeah, I know this deck.
The One Ring with free spells like Force of Negation and Force of Will. It's good, and with cheap spells like Teferi Swords, it's good.
It's good. I think this deck is the NCD deck for this season. You know, he always builds a new control deck every 4 months, and this is the. I think I'm not sure, but I think this one comes from him as well
Could be.
on the challenge. It just feels a little bit clunky in a way, like not clunky exactly, but like you know. I mean, the ring obviously costs 4, which is an issue in Legacy, but also Halfling is not as good as it looks in terms of like. I mean, obviously it's great to snake things through counter spells, but your deck otherwise will be very good against Bolt and the such, or cards that kill orcs like Fatal Push. But then the halving makes it so like they actually can kill they can use removal. Plus, also halving tends to be an awkward top deck, which is worse than what it looks because you're gonna be seen often like because of Force of Will. A lot of games come to attrition, right? Even against tempo decks or whatever. Even if you play in control, we know that. And top deck in a halving is like very bad. But if you cut a lot of halvings, then your rings become too clunky. So for me, that was the issue with the decks. Also, on top of like the mana base obviously being a little bit greedy, but yeah, that's the issue I found with this deck.
Yeah, could be.
Like that's a
There's
deck I'm gonna
no.
play. I think. I also
Yeah.
when like I mean I'm sorry to ask you again, but like did the mono black deck feel hard to play or just like somewhat easy?
No, yeah, definitely not hard to play. No.
Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna play it cast though. I think the deck every time I pick up the deck, I just lose to it. I lose with it. Like I just I know you like it a lot, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to play Ancient Tomb decks or whatever, but I just
Yeah,
lose.
the 8 cast, the 8 cast, I think was like there was a point where it was very good, and now there's so many Chalice decks around just randomly that just punish you so much for playing so many zero drops. I guess now there is less initiative, but
Yeah, it
still.
keeps winning as well. I mean, it won the impact and it just keeps doing fine online, but yeah, we'll see.
What are your plans for the weekend? Do you have any tournament outside of the Legacy Showcase?
Yeah, I mean, there's the arena qualifier. It's sealed, unfortunately, but I'm still gonna try to qualify for it. Like I'm not qualified yet. I did not make the ladder run last month, and last weekend I actually tried to play the play-in on Saturday, but it failed. So I have to qualify on Friday. Otherwise,
When's
GG.
the play-ins?
Friday. Like it's previous Saturday to the qualifier, so last Saturday and this Friday. So I have 1 day window to qualify. I think you have to go 4 or
And
something.
4-0 in
in
one event.
best of three. Yeah, it's like a last chance qualifier. I
So,
will try. I mean,
and then
I
you
really
have
want
to
to play the
go
qualifier.
7, and then you have to go 7-1 twice.
Yeah, that's it. I
So,
mean, day two sometimes you go like 6-1, 5-1, or whatever. Like, I mean, I've never
yeah.
gotten there after the 7-1. I think only one single selected, never in sealed, but I still
Hmm.
want to try it, right? Like, it's a big tournament, the
Yeah.
Arena PT or whatever, Arena
Yeah.
Championship is
I'm also
called. So
I'm also playing sealed right now, Magic Online in the sealed leagues. I've done one yesterday. I've done one today. I'm 3-0 right now, so pretty good, pretty good. I've done very few drafts, so I have to read a lot of the cards. Um, Card evaluate though. The podcasts that I'm listening, the limited podcast I'm listening, help a lot. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I enjoy playing some limited, listening, talking about some limited. Kind of relieved. I don't know. I feel like kind of relieved to not having to play the PT and just have to stress about two formats and just relax and only follow um, sealed for the GP, but also love to qualify for the competition. But you just just only making content and analyzing what you guys will do at the Pro Tour is also fine,
I mean, it's
relaxing
part
for
of the
sure.
hidden part of the PT, right? Like, it's great to play. It's super exciting, but sometimes it's a little bit stressful. Like now, I have to
Yeah,
build my legacy deck for this weekend, but also play the tournament this weekend, the sealed, but also prepare for the PT in 2 weeks. So that means I have to like be splitting my time in Magic between all the formats every time, and sometimes it gets a little bit stressful, especially when things don't do well. Like sometimes you're fine with your deck, but now like I have no legacy deck, and like it's tricky sometimes to manage that, but it's part of the magic, I
and
guess.
sometimes people also have like jobs and deadlines
No,
and things like
absolutely,
that.
yeah. Like I mean,
So it can just
kids or
I
whatever.
just
Yeah.
adds up and it's crazy. So like
But
the the general
Mengu, you
yes
have the podcast like
yes
the Carnies that can help you to save some time, so you don't fall into the same traps we're gonna fall into.
yeah you can start by listening for 20 minutes about our mistakes and how bad we say we are, and then we talk about some strategy. That's how the
That's. I
Carney's
mean,
podcast
it
go.
might help some people though. Anyway, yeah. I mean, legacy. I don't like initiative decks. I know you like them a lot, but I think these decks are supposed to be good against the blue decks. But the Monarch and initiative against the Orcs, that's dangerous. Like, imagine your opponent has two lands untapped, and you have 4 mana, and you have the seasoned guy, and you're like, I'm gonna play it, get initiative, and they go end of turn Orcs, and if they have removal, the game's over. Like, it is completely over. So
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan for initiative going forward.
Also, uh, there was Teamwork Cascade as well. This is
Rhinos,
another
Rhinos, right?
deck that comes up every time.
I mean, I
It's
lost
fine. I
that
feel like
deck. I don't know. Maybe that deck is secretly good. It's definitely
like
doesn't care about the orcs, and it's a blue deck, so it has Force of Wheels, and it has turn one kills or whatever. It's certainly a luck deck, but maybe it's good. I mean, I have not played. Have you
yeah.
played with it in your YouTube videos?
I played one video. Yeah, I was
And what was the feeling
luck deck.
Compared to mono black, if I have to choose between the two luck decks, which one would you recommend?
That's maybe Bona Black. Like that one did not feel good.
Okay, so we have a tier
Some
from
yeah.
luck decks. Okay, okay.
Speaking of rhinos, we haven't mentioned it at all because the tape of rhinos in Modern used to be like the best deck 2 months ago, and
Yeah.
now there's only 20 people playing it, 47 win percentage. I see one in 17th place, but I swear I did not see a single person playing. Also, they were playing Questing Beast, by the way.
I like that
I did not
card.
see I did not see a
Uh,
single player playing it over there.
Maybe they were hiding from you, actually. Maybe they saw the famous Mega Mengucci and they were like, yeah, let's hide the Rhino so he doesn't,
But
think
no,
anything
it's
of
like
you.
it's crazy, right? How fast modern players picked up the meta changed.
Or
Meta
maybe the deck
changes.
is so fast you were slower than them. That's why you didn't see them.
I finished
Just saying.
round one. They called me feature match. I finished the match and I went to the bathroom and every bathroom door was open. Like
Wow, that's so fast.
there's it was so fast that the bathroom was We're completely empty. Just, I think that if you've been to a Magic tournament, that is the perfect,
Yeah,
like, in order to tell you how fast I finished, it's every battering the horizontal.
yeah. Whenever you end the match super fast, that's a perfect time to go to the bathroom because you know it's gonna be a space for you. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Ooh, another deck.
good advice.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's okay. Let's.
We also should talk a little bit of the Pioneer because the showcase happened this weekend.
Sure.
Shall
Yeah.
we like a
There's
little
one
bit? You
buck.
know, I mean, obviously Pioneer is not the big deal for some tournaments, but still one of the biggest formats every week. And yeah, I mean, after
Yeah,
a few months after the PT, the deck just was called like just bad again or whatever, and then just pretty much the same deck that won the PT just won the showcase, right?
yeah.
Like
D
nothing different,
Demagged.
right? Like
I don't
is it
know. He's
is it literally the same deck
playing.
almost?
Yeah, maybe. I
I
mean,
mean,
he's playing
except
theater.
obviously Prophecy for Spite or whatever, but like I
Yeah.
mean,
Demagged
I don't remember
won
exactly the decklist from Reed, but it might be this
similar.
most. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's playing three Murex. Reed was definitely not playing Murex. I think he was playing Mutavault. But yeah, Indomitable Creativity with Xenagos and Worldspine Worm won the showcase. Um, that's something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so the metagame has changed definitely. Like finals was Lotus Field Blue Eye Control by Phil Hellmuth, which you know the deck's been around for a while. I've never played it. I don't like how it looks, but it keeps doing results. But I think the most important shift is like Rakdos midrange is not the Rakdos like to beat anymore. It's not the most played deck or whatever. Sacrifice is like Sacrifice is the most played deck in the format, and Sacrifice is also the one of the most like common like black red decks and such. That changed the metagame a lot because before, when midrange was the most played deck, it was not that easy to attack this deck. Like even decks that could be ahead of it, if they were played enough, Rakdos could adapt. Sacrifice is not like that. Like if you play Rakdos Sacrifice, you're gonna have a rough time against Lotus Field. That's it. Like it's gonna happen. I mean, obviously you put like 5 or 10, 12, that big sphere, it's not gonna be the case. But this makes it so you can attack the format with other decks that you couldn't before because of the Rakdos midrange being gatekeeping the situation, and that's an important change. And I think that's why decks like Creativity or Control are doing better again. I know Creativity was not that bad against Rakdos, but I think you'd rather play against Sacrifice than against midrange, right? With Creativity, because like their cards or the claims are worse or whatever. And that changed one thing. Another thing that's changed, which actually doesn't impact as much, but still worth mentioning, is the white red deck being good. Like it's apparently a good deck. It made top eight in the Mox as well. There were two players playing it. Like it seems to be like in the Pioneer format has an aggro deck because the creature cheap creature decks were the spirits or whatever, or the convoke deck felt more like a combo deck in a way. But this is more like an aggro deck, right? This is actual aggro deck, and it's been a while, right? I don't think there was any good deck in Pioneer that was aggro for a while, and this one seems to be good enough. I mean, you look at the deck and it's just like this deck can grind and can kill you very fast, which is a good sign for aggro deck.
So
Which
you're saying that there's no good aggro deck. Last episode, you told me to play mono white aggro though.
yeah, but I don't think it's as good as this one is according to the mocks.
No, I could have played
No,
this
that's. I
deck
mean, like when it
and
looks
went
from like
one
when it
two
looks from
with
me
it.
here. No, I'm sure. I actually forgot about white, but like what I'm thinking is this deck looks better than white now. Maybe. I mean, look at the metagame here. Uh, do you think this is worse or better than Sacrifice than Mono White? Because Mono White is a very solid deck that's very bad against Sacrifice, right?
Yeah, this one
But
can grind with eight reckless impulse
I'm
showdown.
not saying this deck beats Sacrifice, but I think the way I say this, Mono White is a deck that loses to Sacrifice a lot because I remember testing the Mono White, the matchup against Sacrifice was like very bad, and this deck has to be fine against Sacrifice because you can just sometimes just win the game with the Showdown of the Skulls and the such, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, could be this is a new deck for sure. This white red by Komata Man. I think he was the first one that brought it. He won the showcase with it. It top eighted with it, but
so
he didn't
there
get
were also
past
some
the.
like there were also like decks like Grisfunk or whatever that sometimes just were battlefield based, but this is different deck. Like this is like a traditional aggro deck with burn spells, like because you could say also Angel's World was like an aggro deck or so, but It was probably only mono white, right? Being good as an aggro deck. Everything else was not an aggro
Yeah,
deck. But yeah, I
I
mean, sacrifice
guess.
also means spirit is a very bad idea. Like, in the top 16 of the mocks, there were no spirits. I mean, I don't even know if anyone submitted the spirits, but but yeah, like spirits was not great against black red control, but it was fine. The same way like mono white was fine against black red. I'm sorry, mid range. The same way, yeah. But all these decks, the creature decks, were fine against mid range. But all these decks lose to sacrifice. Like sacrifice makes it so playing a creature deck is not very appealing, and like it makes deck like the blue white control, dream troll, or whatever better. I don't know what would you play going forward. That's like a strange position to be, right?
Yeah, I think I'll stick to the play whatever you know best because I feel like I sat down with a deck I just picked up and I lost with it. If I was playing Rakdos midrange that knew well, I would have done well. So I think that I'm gonna believe into this like play what you know best in Pioneer.
But it's very
And sure,
like it's
metagame
very hard.
matters.
Yeah. It's,
That metagame matters and things like that. But I'll feel like I want to. Yeah, I wanna leave some Fable again. Actually, you know what? I just don't want to sleep.
no, there's one sacrifice. There was when mid range, but like
There's one midrange in the top.
yeah, but it's definitely
Yes,
top 16. But it's definitely like not a good idea or like a good perspective to run mono white spirits or black red mid range into this metagame. I think
okay.
because even when you don't play against mirror match with black red mid range, you're playing against 5 color also. Sometimes like which are not good matchups anyway.
Yeah.
I think if the best deck is black red mid range, it's fine to play the deck you know the best. But if the best deck or the most played deck switches into a deck which has strong matchups like Sacrifice, I think it's dangerous. I think it's hard. Like honestly, if I had to play a tournament this weekend for Pioneer, I will not know where to go. I will try to play what I know best, as Mango says, among the decks that can have a fair game against Sacrifice. Because decks against Sacrifice are often very bad or quite decent. Like there aren't that many 50-50 matchups or whatever. There are some, of course, but like you can tell if a deck is good or not against Sacrifice, like decent. And I will not play those that are actually lose to Sacrifice because the bad matchups are very bad. So many claim the first ones or whatever. Maybe Pioneer is not as bad as you say, Mango.
Then you start playing a tournament, and it is.
Yeah, I know, but I
In
was.
theory, it's not. In theory, turret crafting pioneer is great.
Yeah.
I know.
Lose the die roll, they go land one elves and because
No, it's like
Mono Green
every
keeps being
game is
there.
just
Yeah.
yeah. And
All
all
right.
right, Javier. How about we wrap it up?
We wrap it up. Yeah, we can wrap it up. Next week we're still gonna do this. I think. Yeah. Next week we still do podcasts. The week after though we will have a break. For the PT, at least
Yes,
myself, I
we'll
will
be
be in
in
the
a
testing house, swimming in the swimming pool, hopefully every
we will
day.
be both in we will be both in Barcelona for a week, from
Yeah, eating
23
eating.
of July to the 30th of July. I hopefully can say the news of what I'll be doing over there in Barcelona. Uh, 'Cause I've been talking to Wizards a lot, and there'll be something to announce. But until then, it's
Wait! You said there will be something to announce.
yeah, I will be doing something at the in Barcelona.
Okay,
It's
that's
not
cool.
public
I had
yet.
no idea. Nice.
I will tell you. I will tell you as soon as I can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's
It's
cool.
it's cool. It's cool. It's definitely a cool one. And if you are in the tournament area, oh sorry, not a tournament area, in the MagicCon, I believe you will not want to miss it
I
on
will be
on.
in the Magic Con. That I can
But
tell
yeah,
you.
hopefully you'll be playing.
All right. I mean that was it for today. I think we touched a little bit of everything. Let's see if Mango failed to win the mocks. Let's see if I can win it for him this weekend.
Yes.
And yeah,
At what time
also
is it? So I can root.
I think it's Sunday 5 p.m. probably. It's usually Sunday 5
Perfect.
p.m. Yeah,
I'll be from the beach waiting
from the
for your
beach
updates on
with a
Discord.
mojito or an ice cream. Yeah, classic Mango. Yes.
Either one of the two, no other options.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably. I mean, it's usually one of the two, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, it depends on the hour because in Italy, if you're it's around like I would say 5 or 6 p.m., you're required to drink enough of those spritz. That's the
Okay.
requirements. So
That's tradition. I will never go against your
later,
traditions.
later you can go for mojito at like around 8.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, thanks for listening and good luck in your games this weekend. I don't know if Mango has anything else to add.
No, no. Also, to me, good luck this weekend. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back next week. And also, say in the comments if you liked watching me and Javier talking about cards lists, so that you can actually follow them on the YouTube channel. Because yeah, you can. If you're listening to this, you can find this video version on the YouTube channel. I have a playlist with all the episodes, one after the other, and this is episode 43.
That's a lot of episodes, huh?
Yeah, hopefully there's gonna be even more.
Okay.
Bye,
I think
everybody.
we're good to go. Bye bye. Cheers.